But without further ado, we can go ahead and start off. And I'll sort of introduce you. You don't have to worry about that. Today, I am joined by Portland-based pop star and precisely 4% of internet-based band Webcage, Saoirse Dream. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. Yeah, geez, it's a nice 2 p.m. It's bright and sunny outside, which means it's a perfect day for me to just stay
Yeah,
inside.
it's a beautiful day to
I,
stay indoors.
yes, exactly.
And to sort of ease in a bit with a sort of an open-ended question, in your own words, tell the people, what is it that you do?
I am a musician, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Saoirse Dream's kind of a solo project ish situation where I make hyperpop adjacent um, emo ish guitar music, but also like club remixes. It's all over the place. Just sort of an
Yeah,
outlet for me to do kind of whatever. That's sort of what it's turned into.
you're covering a lot of ground,
Um,
needless to say.
yeah, I guess so.
And as I do with a lot of my interviews, I like to establish a bit of a short timeline of events, sort of contextualize your work, so we can travel way back in time, way back to 2014, because that's the earliest that I could find.
Well,
Yeah, yeah, right.
okay.
I always kind of get that reaction. I always get the reaction of like, oh no, in a way. But we have the show, which unlike the sort of sparkly alternative rock sound that you have going on right now, it's like a somber and droning ambient piece. So initially, what is introducing you to like, the early styles that you're taking inspiration from, and what makes you say, maybe this is something that I want to do. Maybe I want to make music.
Hmm. That's a very good question.
Thank you.
I started making music formally when I was 12. Um, so I started just like kind of like sequencing shit on GarageBand, which I'd like played around with, but I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make real songs. And I started because um at the time I was really into Monster Cat.
Oh, okay.
Like really into Dead Mouse, Skrillex, fucking Flex Pavilion. Like I was a huge EDM kid. One time I got an opportunity to like co-DJ a school dance. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, because the person that was the DJ they had hired, like I guess like quit last minute.
Oh no.
Um, So it was just me and this other kid who had the DJ controller, like playing electronic music for a bunch of eighth graders.
Was that kind
um,
of like a
um,
taking over of the vibe? Be like, I'm gonna play what I like.
yeah, but we did receive a lot of requests, and we were told to honor them
Oh, okay.
within reason. But yeah, that was God, that was such a time. But I think obviously, like I always had an interest in a lot of different types of music. Like my mom raised me on shit like the Beatles
Yeah.
and like Coldplay, but more generally like a lot of like kind of indie folk, um, and bluegrass.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so so I don't know. I just had a and I when I was younger like got really into emo. Um, so coming into electronic music, like obviously in those kinds of scenes, there's a lot of rules for what you're supposed to do. So for a long time, I was trying to follow those rules, and I
Yeah.
was like, really, I don't know. There were a couple standout tracks. Like there's a reason that The Shell is still up on my SoundCloud because I'm like, that one sounded pretty cool. Sounded fairly unique as far as like my older discography is concerned.
Yeah. Holds up.
Um, Thank you. So yeah, that's why it's still around. I don't know. It took a long time for me to grow out of the like EDM producer mindset and let myself have fun with music. I think like the dawn of the hyperpop era was big for that because I had known a bunch of the people in the hyperpop scene that had come from EDM, like some folks in 909 Worldwide. I used to like make future bass with way back when. And I remember over the years, like when I was like 17 through 19, I kind of fell out of interest for like internet music and was just sort of playing guitar in these local bands, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like I was still keeping up with my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, like, dude, our friend our friend Umru just got a like placement for production on this fucking Charlie XCX song, and now they're all playing Minecraft together." And I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like, I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And then in my head, I'm like, what does Charlie XCX do again? Which is this is me at like 17, 18.
Yeah.
But then I got back into it when I heard 1000 Gex, as most people do, and that sort of like brought me. I'd gone through the valley, a changed woman, and had returned to the electronic music scene when it was just starting to become fun again. And the timing was perfect, apparently. But I think like, yeah, okay. The Shell is a pretty old one. There's some other older songs of mine, like between a bunch of different aliases that are just scattered across the world, and you can
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. Are you familiar with Can of Bliss?
I am familiar with Cannibalists. Yeah, I checked out I
Excellent.
checked out her most recent project, I believe. I can't remember the name of it though, but I did listen.
Myrtle Broadway and The Big Bang Theory.
That would be it. Yes.
Incredible. But yeah, Can of Bliss, me and her, like, we have a track we made together from, I think it was 2014, and it's like fucking it's I think it's like neuro a little bit. It's just like all of these people now who are known for making this boundary pushing pop music.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them came from EDM, and I think that's really interesting. I mean, fuck, Underscores used to make dubstep.
Yeah,
Like,
I've noticed
and
as a huge trend is kind of like that EDM to sort of like progressive pop pipeline in a way.
yeah, I think it's like taking the like production sensibilities of EDM. Oh my, one of my cats has been under my bed this whole time.
Oh, this is an interesting
Hey,
development.
he's been so quiet.
Okay, I was
This is
wondering if it was
Elio.
Elio.
Yeah, he's not my cat. He's my roommate's cat, but he's a big cutie.
He does.
Yes,
My cat
Elio.
my cat is
out.
right beside me. My cat, I think, has been in the background of almost every interview I've done the past couple times.
That's so excellent. Hi, Elio. You don't understand why I'm talking.
He
You just
seems
think I'm talking to myself.
thrilled to be here.
He's a silly guy. I think he's just sitting down now.
He's here to stay for the interview.
Okay.
He's along for the ride.
Oh, actually, where's he going? What are you doing? Okay. Okay, he
there
got
he
on my
is.
bed. Well, I'll keep an eye on him. He eats plastic, so
Oh,
just
wow.
want to make sure he doesn't get into anything.
Yeah, give us intermittent
He's
updates
silly like that.
on Elio's well-being.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the motivation behind like having that song up, because it sort of like stands to me as what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a
A
testament.
symbol of yeah, exactly. A symbol of change, but also I'm like, I just think it's crazy that I've been around for that long, Like, it was the oldest thing that I still had on my SoundCloud, and it was
Yeah.
privated for a while, so I just like unprivated it somewhat recently.
Yeah, I noticed a couple
Um,
year gap between that song and the next song, and I was like, things have definitely like been putting up and taken down a couple times. I can guess that
Oh,
much.
no, yeah, that SoundCloud account has seen 4 different aliases.
Oh, wow.
Because Saoirse Dream only started in 2019.
Okay.
Uh,
So before that, you're just kind
yeah.
of going over different names, different projects, sort of finding your footing in all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because then a couple years later, you have more tracks, vocal tracks, notably in the form of like "So Bad Lately," "Anything Poison," kind of those tracks from about 3 or 4 years ago. And you mentioned how that first song that you're keeping up is a sort of a testament to the change and the growth that you've experienced as an artist. So when you think about that song, and then you think about a couple years back to those songs, how do you think that your perspective has changed, in just in terms of the actual process of creating art, or maybe it hasn't changed at all?
It's definitely changed. I think I like coming into making those songs, like anything and so bad lately, Poison, etc. And there were like a handful of older ones that I think I had to take down at some point because I ran out of upload space. And now I can't find them,
Oh no.
which is unfortunate. Yeah, there's like one from late 2019 that maybe I'll find at some point and I'll post it. But regardless, I think around then those songs were made a little more as exercises of like, what's he doing?
Hopefully not eating plastic is what I'm hoping for.
See him looking at the plastic.
Oh no, he's thinking
Okay,
about it.
he just wants to leave. He's just leaving. Okay, later. He's opening
Watching
the
your
door.
door. I'm watching your door slowly open right now. Is he
Yeah,
trying to get out?
he's getting it.
There,
Yeah, there he goes.
there he goes.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, what a silly guy. Okay. Where was I?
Process of changing. Those songs were sort of an
Oh,
exercise.
yeah. So when I was making those songs, they were an exercise in brevity. Like I wanted to make stuff that was short and didn't take super long to make, but that I could really like have fun with the production on. Like
Yeah.
the original version of So Bad Lately was made in an hour. It was for a beat challenge.
Hmm.
Um, in a Discord server, and anything I think I made in like a day. And that was like sort of the move for me at that point because I mean, shit. I'm sure. Like this is a similar story for anyone making music during the pandemic, but like I didn't have a lot to do. I lost my
Yeah.
job. Um, I lost like my job stopped existing
Oh wow.
completely. I worked in a movie theater, so that was
Oh,
not a
okay.
thing. And then I moved to Oregon, so I was just unemployed for a while, and I mean, I briefly worked at Subway, but other than that, I was fucking just like churning out songs, like whether it was like solo stuff or stuff with Webcage or just like throwaway things for beat challenges. Like, um, that was kind of the ethos was like make it quick, make it fun, just like fuck around and find out. And I think that started to change a little bit as I was like getting into making the first real Saoirse Dream album. Because I had recorded an album prior, but like, and which I called Let the Sky In, which is on my it's on my Bandcamp and my SoundCloud. But I recorded that like in late May, beginning of June 2020, and it was all of these songs that I'd spent the past couple of years, like before then, writing. And it took a really long time to get there, and I just like the writing process was so I don't know, it was so iterative. Like I felt like I would visit a song and I'd start recording it and I'd be like, oh fuck, I like have to change this entire part and then I'd have to start over. So I wanted to get away from that because I could go insane as long as I wanted like making these songs. And I think letting myself have fun with it also made producing it more fun
Yeah.
because I didn't already have an idea of what the songs were sounding like. Like I mean they were like I didn't have any vision, like they were just sort of happening as I
Yeah.
went. Like I would just like find a file on my computer and I'd be like, okay, I'll use this hat that's called Drain Gang. Blah, 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 blah. I can. It's literally
Just like ad
DRAIN
infinitum.
underscore GAANGAGN
Oh wow.
or something like that. It's a good hat. But I would just drag random files into the project and be like, I don't know, what can I do with this?
Yeah. See what happens.
Exactly. And I think that made making music a lot more fun. But right now, I've kind of circled back in the process of making my last album, Star, and then working on new stuff. Because in my heart, I am a producer, obviously, and I love production, but I'm also a songwriter,
Yeah.
and I think I've really been trying to like put my put my whole pussy into these songs, if you will,
There you go.
and but you know, balancing that with the ethos of like make it quick, make it fun has been an interesting challenge. And like I don't know, especially working with Webcage, like our process for so long has kind of gone between like that sort of mindset, but and then also like this like reverence for these old works in progress that we have,
Yeah.
that kind of like slowed us down in the like we would start a bunch of things and then we would never finish them, um, but we like had a big group discussion without like you know parting the kimono too much. We had a group discussion recently, which was pretty excellent, and now we're just kind of like doing whatever and
Yeah.
making it fun again, and just starting shit for the sake of starting shit, but like not overcomplicating it. And I don't know, it's a delicate balance, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like really
This
grateful for the type of the type of creation that this scene like encourages, I
yeah,
guess.
or even allows, really.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's interesting that you sort of bring up this dynamic of this fine balance of experimentation and like this sort of like loose creativity without much of without many parameters set in line. And then because also I know you brought up you've had a couple different jobs over the years, from Subway sandwich artist, to
Yes.
artist to Target team member, to Target team member again. I know that
Yeah.
you've cycled back through on that one, and now kind of approaching this idea of, oh, like this art that I'm making is now monetized. There's like I'm seeing like actual feedback and like numbers as a result of this. So, you know, on your long list of jobs, how has monetizing your music and having musician be more than a hobby, but now a job title as well, how has that impacted, your creative process and just your perspective on making
Mhm.
music?
That's a good question. I think
Thank you.
um, for a while it was really confusing
Right.
because I don't know, the mindset in the hyperpop scene was to like just keep releasing singles, you know, and like maybe
Yeah.
some people would have albums at some points, and those would mostly just be singles that you've been releasing, but like to just sort of keep it going, you know, until one catches on and blows up. And it was all very digital for a while, which made sense, you know, like deeper in the pandemic. Um, and obviously, you know, stuff like URL festivals were really big. So it was like all really centered on like shit like that, you know, like getting streams, getting people to buy your shit on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Um, so it made sense to just like keep putting things out, and to like keep working with other people, you know, like before I canceled my DistroKid subscription, um, I like I've just worked on a lot of songs with people. I have a lot of production credits at this point. So, you know, a lot of my income that wasn't from like a day job was coming from that. Um, but it wasn't like I don't know. It's not streaming doesn't fucking pay that well. It's not a
No, it
significant
does
amount of
not.
money. And even if it is like the area where I receive the most attention, um, that like just doesn't really translate over into earnings. And for a while it was doable because like I was getting unemployment or I had another job, you know, and then there were like, or I had saved up money for a bit. But like, I don't know, shit got whack for a while.
That's fair.
I'm no stranger to being broke. I mean, shit, I'm broke right now, but right now I'm a working musician, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. Because the secret to making music still feel fun when you're making money off of it is you got to do stuff to make money that isn't music. The music part, the actual songs, those you don't have to think about those making money. Whatever song I'm making right now, that's not what's making money.
Yeah.
Like that's not I'm not betting on it blowing up and getting streams off of it, you know? Like I booked a tour. That's crazy. Also horrifying. Oh my god.
I would imagine.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, I had a
Mistake. Horrible mistake.
Oh, really? Huge. Oh, you know,
why am I doing that?
I had a couple questions laid out about the Charm tour and this kind of being a cool thing, but I feel like a huge mistake, horrible mistake is kind of the tagline for it now.
It's not a real mistake. I think it's gonna be awesome. It's just kind of like, oh my god, it's a lot. It's a big move. I mean, this is the second tour I'll ever have gone on, and it's the first one I'll do like as a solo act. You know? Like before I was just some kid like who played bass and keyboard, who was just in someone else's band, and we went up and down the West Coast, and that was our tour. But now I'm like taking flights. I'm going to cities I've never been to before.
You're making big moves.
Making big moves,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. And honestly, shows and merch are what make money, and I've really been trying to focus in on that. I've been playing a lot more local shows. Really trying to like become a stronger staple of the Portland scene, and I think that's been working.
Bit of a hometown hero, almost, you could say.
Exactly, I want to be a hometown hero, and it's just like fun to perform.
Listen, non-staples of the scene don't get recognized on Grindr that often.
Oh yeah, oh my god, I had to delete that application.
I saw that.
Okay.
It was after 3 times you said it's done. 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grindr.
It even happened a 4th time before I got a chance to delete
wow,
it,
a buzzer
which
beater
was-
kind of came in at the last minute.
I know. It was crazy. Yeah, God. I don't know. I spent a lot of time like really trying to capture the like lightning in a bottle internet pop star thing. I mean, that was the album Star. It's like partially what it's about.
Yeah.
As nerdy as that is. But right now I've kind of been embracing like just sort of being someone, just like some girl who just kind of
doing what she can.
Just like, yeah, some girl who's just doing what she can, just kind of making my songs in my room. And if people want to come to my shows and if people want to, like buy my shirts and shit, like that fucking rules. And that makes me really happy. And I think like, I don't know. I guess I've been prioritizing forming more of a community than like a stardom. And that has felt a lot more fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
Because like even if I spend the rest of my career in like relative obscurity, I'll at least know that there's like a community of people who really love what I do. And like, I don't know, music is something that I'm just kind of always going to keep doing because I just love to do it. I love the process of making it. And as long as there'll be people there to listen to it, like I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I like look forward to share it every time I make something new,
Yeah, I was
I think that's really special.
Yeah, I talked to Dustin Hayes of Walter Etc. a couple weeks back, and he was talking about how how he was going on tour with like Tiny Moving Parts, and he was playing shows in porn shops with Modern Baseball, like in the back room they did a show there, and talking about this idea of like no matter what's going on now, no matter how the album's doing, no matter how the songs are performing, you have that sense of community, and it's very important. And so yeah, I agree. I think that maintaining that is kind of like almost like the key to just being fulfilled. I did want to touch on a couple of things. So you've had a lot of goals over the years. Goals that I found out from producing for Charlie XCX to writing for Riverdale to wanting Jeff Rosenstock's life.
Yeah. I really do want Jeff Rosenstock's life. Listen, Jeff, Jeff, if I ever meet you, watch out. You can't
Yeah.
trust me, no matter what.
If you're out there, shit's just
Listen, I
coming for
have my
you.
Jeff Rosenstock suit in the back. I'm just gonna zip that on, throw you in a dumpster. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
take that.
It'll
They'll
be
let me
like,
write for TV
yeah,
now.
nobody will know the difference. So I guess, laying the groundwork with those goals, what are some short and long term goals that you've laid out for your music, and also just other areas of your life? What are you hoping to accomplish soon? What are you hoping to accomplish in the way far future?
Good question. Okay. Short-term goals are finish this album uh and go on this tour and just see this through. That's the short-term goal,
Yeah.
is to like make it happen the way I have it in my head. So far, it has been happening the way I've been picturing it, and that's been very exciting. But I mean, I'm not like setting my sights so high
Yeah.
for the immediate shit. I think eventually I God, goals. That's a tough one. I mean,
Yeah.
I really want to do more touring. Like, I want to spend more time, like touring with more artists and like really like going on the road, because that kind of shit is. Oh, excuse me. Oh my
You're
goodness, how
excused.
uncouth. Um, I really want to go on the road because that kind of lifestyle really appeals to me. And also, part of me is like, maybe I need to get it out of my system a bit because I'm
Yeah.
pretty, for lack of a better term, I'm pretty horny for it right now. And like after this tour happens, like if all goes well, like I'm gonna book more shows in the
Yeah.
fall, because I really want to go everywhere that people will have me. Because I haven't spent a lot of my life exploring the world. I mean, like I haven't ever left the country. I don't have a passport.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to get a passport if I want to like play in Canada. Um, I want to go to Ireland. Like that would be fire. I'll see how much of a poser they think I am there.
There you go.
Um, but honestly though, long-term career goal is like being a songwriter, like a songwriter and producer for any number of, you know, pop acts,
Anybody that'll have you.
or yeah, pop or alternative or electronic. I really do love writing music,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes I write songs and then I'm like, well, I don't know if this is really Saoirse Dream, but now I wrote this song. I've got like a folder of songs on my phone, and like I don't know. Or sometimes I just like think of a hook and a little beat, and then that's all I have, and then I just have that forever. And I'm like, well, this is really fun, but it's not really like it's not really something I feel like
Yeah.
I can
It's like
develop.
you
It's
want
like
that
I want to
idea
give
to
that to
live
someone else.
somewhere. Yeah.
Exactly. So in that sense, producing for Charlie XCX, that's a fucking career goal. Like if that really did happen, that would be fire. Honestly, I want to send more beats to like rappers. I have been really enjoying making plug beats lately, which I maybe should be posting about more. Um, but I don't know. I just want to do a bunch of random shit, you know? Like
Yeah.
I guess I don't ever want to become like uh just kind of a person who does what I do, and I surround myself with people who do what I do.
Yeah. Be sort of like creatively
I
nomadic in that regard.
Yeah, but I also aspire to a life of like quiet comfort, because admittedly, like I don't know, it's not that I'm like completely averse to having a day job. It's just right now it doesn't really make sense for me. But I don't know. I could see myself working at like a fucking part time at a record store or a coffee
Yeah.
shop or something like
Something
that, or
quiet.
even doing something more intense, something quiet, but like it still can be customer facing.
Yeah.
But like just I guess as long as like music is something I can keep doing until I die,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I just like I'm gonna be one of those people that like the way I see my musical future, I'm gonna be one of those people that's like she's been around the indie scene forever. She might not have any big hits, but she has like 80 albums. Like,
Everyone knows who she
and
is to some extent.
yeah, we've all heard of her. But like, what does she really do? Like, fucking God, Yola Tango have been around forever. They have so many albums. I wanna get to that point with my music where I just have a completely unapproachable
Yeah, just
discography.
borderline just intimidating.
Yeah, intimidating. Yes, yes. I want to intimidate people with my discography,
Well,
but like, but my real life, I just want to kind of be a chiller. I'm a chiller at heart.
that's just like Will Wood, you know. Will Wood, those songs are all over the place. Nobody knows anything about him. But
That's the way. That's the way to do
yeah.
it.
So you know what? If I ever see Charlie XX, I'll send her your way. If I ever see Jeff, I'll tell him
Thank
watch
you.
out. Um,
Yeah.
so I do want to briefly touch on Star because something interesting happened with Star recently. Being that it sat at the top of the Rate Your Music hyperpop charts, and it's still up there.
Yeah.
It's still top 10. It's a number 7 right
Yeah.
now. So I guess one, what did that feel like? And also maybe a bit deeper question being that what is it like to see such lengthy and impassioned reviews on a body of work that you made? You know, what is it like reading those?
Definitely. It definitely felt weird to see it up that high, like above all of these albums that I loved and drew so much inspiration from.
Yeah.
And I guess like the like scene historian part of me looked at that and I was like, well, I don't know if that should be there. But then like the part of me that's really honored to be included was like, wow, that's really cool. You know, I appreciate that kind of recognition. I don't know. I think it was really surprising, honestly, because I guess I don't know how many artists there are that I feel like really draw direct influence from me, but then all of the other albums on that top list are like fucking Charlie
Yeah.
and Gex, fucking I mean shit, there was like a Frost Children album.
Yeah, that one's number 2 right now. The Dorian Electra album's up there as well.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Shit. What else is on there? They got I know Peer to Peer is somewhere in the top 20. I think. At least it was at one point.
That sounds about right.
But I don't know. Regardless of that, like I think I'm still reaching the point as an artist where like there will be artists who take inspiration from me because like there are people who really love Jane Remover. Like Jesus, if anyone in this scene has clones, it's Jane Remover. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The amount of shoegaze that started getting made after Census Designated came out was insane, and like power to everyone doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've always loved shoegaze. I've been a fucking ride or die shoegaze girly since I was 16. Like I've been on this shit.
But that is a measurable influence.
Yeah, it's a very measurable influence, and like just like incredibly frequently, like I think the crossover between fans of me and the fans of Jane Remover and Underscore is like 1-to-1. All of my fans know them.
Yeah. The Venn diagram is just
at least
a circle.
like 90%. The Venn diagram is like a circle. Yeah, and so like the majority of people that I see like liking my posts and following me like I don't know, will have said something about these artists or like even have usernames inspired by WallSocket or Jane Remover profile pictures. So I guess it was weird to see myself up that high because I'm like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible, but I guess I don't know how much I aspire for that to be like who I am. Not that there is anything wrong with being an icon in that, right? I guess I just don't think that that's like my role in a scene necessarily. But I'm also, I don't know. I've been told recently that I'm very modest.
Yeah.
Which sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but I think I just don't know. I don't know how to recognize my own notoriety.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of those
But it
things
was really
where,
flattering.
yeah, well, it's also one of those things where, to some extent, once you put that body of work out into the world, like it's up to the interpretation of the listener. Even if you feel like, I, I don't feel like I'm at that level yet, or I should ever be at that level with how I operate. It's really up to other people to decide. Well, hey, maybe we think you are, and so they put you up there on, number 7 on Rate Your Music, and it's one of those dynamics where it's like after, you're kind of not always in control of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Letting go of control of my music and narrative has been difficult, but I think I'm there. Like, I think I'm at a point where I'm like, this is fine. Like, I can deal with this,
Yeah.
and honestly, reading all of the really thoughtful reviews made me really happy. And just hearing anytime people have like takes and opinions on my music, because of course I love to hear that people love my music. I mean, like, I don't know, people come up to me at shows and like tell me how important my songs are to them, and that's really special to me,
Yeah.
and it inspires me to like keep doing this. And like, I don't know, it inspires me to be, I guess, more of a role model, because it's like mostly trans women, and like, if there's anyone I want to inspire, it's trans women. Um, and I don't know. The praise is nice. The opinions are cool. I really do like getting into like people's hot takes and opinions, and
Yeah.
like seeing how I can like, I don't know, because sometimes I agree. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a hot take, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I can see how you would feel that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. And
um,
it's fun. It kind of adds this, discourse. It's interesting. It keeps things fresh. It keeps conversations going.
yeah, I like talking about art in that way. Um, it becomes more difficult to do so when you're in a scene of artists and like that's the music that you're listening to,
Yeah.
or like you just have started to know the bands that you listen to in general, and like, um, I don't know. It's tough to ride the line between like what is perceived as just like, I don't know, carefully thought out criticism and like being a hater. And I'm no stranger to being a hater,
Yeah.
but I don't want to always be a hater.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate, but I usually hate for good reason.
You're hating for good. Someone's got
Yeah.
to do it. Someone's got to do it. So we're all very appreciative of you taking up that mantle. Um,
Thank you.
of course. And so I did, we briefly talked about this earlier, but I did have a question because I was interested on sort of a furthering of your perspective on this, being that I know that recently you posted about these unfair generalizations and these sexualizations that some playlists can sort of, make, especially music from trans artists. And so why do you think that it is important to sort of grow out of this culture? And how do you think that this is sort of affecting the general ethos around these music-based communities?
That's a good question. Um, yeah, I think I think the way in which I see it as something to grow out of is more in the sense that like that's usually what happens.
Okay.
Because I know when I was younger, when I was like first like thinking about, oh, am I trans, and then like, finding a community for it online, and then until I like eventually came out and started hormones, and like a little time passed, like that whole period of my life. I mean, like, yeah, I did turn to places like, Reddit and Twitter, and, also like trans girls on YouTube and Discord. Like a lot of girls who like didn't really have much space in their physical life to express themselves, and not much of a community outside of the internet. So like it was a lot of nerds posting about anime, which is like, hell yeah, brother, fuck yeah, shit,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
I mean, I like anime. I'm not a narc. Um, um, and like a lot of people who are just sort of uh, um, actualizing their sexual identity now that they like know who they are, or are
Yeah.
starting to learn who they are. And I think like I don't know, during that time also like people search for themselves or like representations of their identity in media, and there's not a lot of trans media in general, um, and I don't know. I think like I have found myself on master lists of trans artists, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I mean like accurate. Um, and mostly I'm glad that those people found my music and enjoy it and relate to it. I guess um sometimes it just feels a little limiting, for my songs to be primarily discovered on those kinds of playlists on Spotify. But like that's like one specific niche, I keep
Yeah.
picking up my fucking guitar pedals because they're right in front of me.
Well, it's
I
like
have
this
ADHD.
idea. It's like this idea of like the difference between being like a trans musician and just being like a musician. It's like there's other facets of the art that I'm creating beyond the label that those playlists are sort of like putting onto my art.
Yeah, like I yeah, because I had a run-in recently with a Zionist
Oh
on
no.
my SoundCloud, which was really shocking because it was this person who like, had this like custom, like the like fancy Unicode text and like a bunch of little cute little emojis and stuff, and her bio said that she was 16, and like all of this stuff and a trans flag and then an Israeli flag, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's suspicious. So and I received a comment from her on one of my songs on SoundCloud, and I was like, okay, well, before I like block this person, I need to go like check and see like what the deal with this is.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing my research. And I'm not doing this much with people's SoundCloud comments. But the flag was sort of a
Yeah.
standout
It
to
just
me
stuck out
paired
to you.
with the trans the internet trans girl aesthetic. But yeah, I went to her Twitter and the first post I saw was like incredibly
Oh
racist.
wow. Right off the
Like
bat.
unbelievably racist. So I fucking blocked her and I was like, yeah, your music isn't for me. And then I posted something bigger about it because like she got pissed off
Yeah.
about it. And I don't know, I don't want to fucking like air out drama between me and some 16-year-old. It's broader than that, where it's
Yeah.
like it's I guess this person said that I had been their favorite artist, which is crazy. And I'm really honored, but it sort of calls into question like I have other values to me than being trans, like obviously that is something that I find very important and
Yes.
has shaped my life, and I am very vocal about trans liberation, and I, sing about being trans pretty frequently. But like I'm an anarchist, like what about I guess I just feel like the point is fucking missed, Like I
Yeah.
just don't understand how you can listen to some of my songs and be like, well, surely she would be normal and with me being a fucking supporter of genocide.
Yeah. Just because of that like single connection being made.
Yeah, exactly. But I do want to offer connection and community, for trans people. And like I want my music to be inspiring to them. I guess I just also need to set boundaries because I don't want to form a community that's like just kind of uncritically just a bunch of trans people without like really examining that like, well, I'm, also like pretty particularly a
Yeah.
leftist, and that is maybe just as important to my music and just as important to my identity,
Yeah.
and the way I live my life. And so I guess those two things kind of happened back to back, where like that person commented, and then like maybe the next day, not even a full day later, I saw the original post about those playlists, and I was like, yeah, I mean, shit, I've done a playlist like that before. I remember there was this one like I don't know what it was called. It was like funk something, which is insane. I don't know why I would be on a funk
I don't
playlist.
see the connection there, but continue.
The cover art was like some like awful like poop or fart joke, and
Oh.
it was like my number one like discovered on
Oh
playlist on
no.
Spotify for about 6 months. And I'm like, I work at the time. I'm like, I work at Target. I want to introduce people to my music, but when they click on it, they're gonna see that,
That's what they'll see, yeah.
and then like an anime girl in skimpy clothing begging you to give her estradiol valerate, you know. Like I I think that's more of an issue with Spotify though, because
Maybe, yeah.
the way the you know discovered on feature has been implemented is pretty unfortunate. You can just kind of whatever shows up there, in the same
Yeah.
sense that like people can just upload shit and put your name on it, and if you're not a big enough artist they don't question it.
I have seen a lot
um
of that being an issue. It's a crazy thing to me that just continues to happen.
yeah, so it's fuck Spotify straight up.
Yeah.
They should be paying us more.
Fuck
It's on
Spotify for a
them.
lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, all that said, I guess I want to clarify though that like I don't know. I want to be an approachable artist to trans people. I never want to mock or put people down.
yeah.
And I'm really grateful to have a community that is so like me in many ways. And I love all of my Saoirse Dreamers.
You're Saoirse Dreamers.
My Saoirse Dreamers. That's the unofficial name.
Well, I appreciate your measured response on that one. And that about does it for my questions. But I have one more super easy one for you. Yeah, very easy one. Just because I'm curious. So what would you say are three pieces of media? You know, it's consumerist time. Three pieces of media that you recommend everyone to consume at least once in their life.
Ooh. Ooh.
You look deep in thought on
Okay.
this one.
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, oh, that's a tough cue. Okay, honestly, this is a really hot take.
Okay,
Um, um,
it's a safe
but
space.
uh, uh, the two, like, the two Euphoria specials that came out between seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
You know, and also Euphoria season 1, I guess. Euphoria season 2, skip it. You can miss it. Doesn't matter.
I would have to
Um,
agree on that one.
yeah, you could just kind of, you know, there were good parts, there were bad parts, and you could just skip it. But those two episodes, you know, really going in depth on the like inner lives of, you know, Rue and Jules were really impactful to me, and I think like really explored like some really disparate perspectives on life, and I thought it was beautiful. I don't know, I thought they were incredible, and really well shot and really well written,
Yeah.
and that's like a strong recommendation because I found out recently not everyone watched those, which is insane
I
because they
didn't.
feel like essential viewing.
Yeah, I watched the first
To
two
me.
seasons, but I never got to the specials.
No, yeah, the specials are in between the seasons. So yeah, strong recommendation for those. Um oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think everyone should watch Mulholland Drive.
Okay.
Not even necessarily saying like it's the most genius movie of all time, but more that it's like fucking insane. Either like, I don't know, Mulholland Drive or like fucking Wild at Heart, or like just one of those weird Lynch movies that's still like kind of coherent.
That's like watchable
like you
to an
can
extent.
skip Inland Empire, you know. But yeah, I mean, Mulholland Drive is just absolutely beautiful. And I am always really inspired by how it captures the feeling of being in a dream state. And I don't know, I'm obsessed. I think the last thing I think everyone needs to last piece of media, I suppose, that everyone needs to experience and truly give a chance to. That's such a hard question. Honestly though, I'm just gonna say you all need to go and listen to Scrambles by Bomb the Music Industry.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think it's like fucking essential punk record of the 2010s or 2000s. I guess that was 2009. Yeah, incredibly inspiring, really excellent songwriting. And I feel like for me personally, it's really capturing where I feel like I'm at right now. You know, this kind
Yeah.
of like getting into your getting into your mid 20s. Really like edging into adulthood, but still just kind of being like some kid
Yeah.
who's just like some broke punk. I really love it. I think that album's fucking incredible.
All right. Well, that just about does it for my questions. Saoirse Dream, before we head out of here, what can the people look forward to seeing from you in the near future? This is your time to
Well,
self promo as hard as you possibly can. What do you got going on in your life?
all right, well, just some quick ones. There's gonna be new Webcage. I mean, obviously,
Of
we're making a
course.
fuck ton of music right now, so I don't know. Expect a handful of songs in the next year, probably, at least a couple. Shit. Fuck. I mean, I'm going on tour. Fuck. I'm going
Yeah.
to a couple cities. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be in Atlanta, April 6th, and then Philly, April 11th, and then I skipped New York on April 8th. I don't know why I skipped that, but New York, April 8th. Um, uh, I mean, Chicago, April 21st. There's going to be another one. Still kind of figuring that one out. Might be in Providence, Rhode Island on April 14th, most likely. Keeping my fingers crossed as long as I can get some local support there. I mean, there's going to be a new Saoirse Dream single in the next couple months, and there's going to be a Saoirse Dream album this year.
All right.
Yeah, shit's almost done. It's almost
Almost
done. I'm
there.
pulling it together. But after this tour, I'm going to do some touring, hopefully in the fall. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Yeah, that's kind of my
All
upcoming
right.
release schedule.
Well, thank you so much for talking today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Oh my
Of
goodness.
course.